Hello everyone, and welcome to another video on my journey of recovering and healing from breast implant illness. I had a wonderful opportunity this morning. I got to share the morning with a beautiful woman, Teresa Greco, who interviewed me on her internet TV show about happiness. And I had posted a link on my Facebook page announcing that I would be doing that today. It doesn't air until the 17th, and when I get a link for it, I will of course share that so that you can watch it if you'd like. But it was just a wonderful opportunity to share my story with her. She invited me on to just sort of share my story of the last 20 years, what led me to becoming a mindfulness instructor, and then this most recent twist and turns of my journey of healing, discovering breast implant illness and the journey of explanting. And so it was my first time sharing very publicly outside of these YouTube videos, which mostly are seen by people, friends and family, and people who know me or in my circle of friends, maybe in extending out a little bit, but this will reach a much broader audience. And so I was a little nervous, but I was so grateful for the opportunity because this is what I want to do. I want to share my story because if it can even touch the life of one other person, it gives all that I've gone through meaning and purpose, and it helps heal me. So it was a beautiful opportunity. In some of her questions, it led me down some paths of awareness and insight that I found myself wanting to share with you all here. So first I will just share that on Friday, I was 3 weeks post-op. So I guess now I'm 3 weeks and 3 days. Doing great. Was able to start exercising gently on Friday, not upper body, but some cardio. So I rode the bike and some lower body exercises. I was able to get in the pool. And so that was huge, just to be able to move my body again. Felt great, and it felt like a milestone. And at 6 weeks, I should be able to get the green light to resume most all normal activity. So I'm doing really well. And as I had shared before, some of my chronic daily symptoms have gone away entirely. I haven't yet gone to see my neurologist or rheumatologist, any of my specialists for my autoimmune conditions. So I haven't had any scans or blood work. So I can't speak to changes in that regard yet. At only 3 weeks, I haven't even healed from the surgery. But I can speak to just the fact that I feel so much healthier already. I feel physically stronger. I have more energy, my fatigue, and just, I used to feel like I constantly was dragging, and that has been lifted. I feel just healthy. I feel younger. I feel energetic. Emotionally and mentally, I feel so much healthier, and my nervous system feels so much calmer. Part of why I was so committed to daily mindfulness and meditation was because my nervous system felt so frazzled nearly every day. I used to call it short-circuiting, to the point that if the news or the TV was on and someone was talking, it would frazzle me a little bit. And that was really difficult. And then when something stressful would go on, or I would experience stress, it was sort of as if my body was on overload, and it was very difficult to manage it. And that has really lessened. I had an appointment with the doctor the other day, and she said, I can't quite get over the healing. It's remarkable. And I was just sharing how I'm feeling. And I've had stressful things going on in the last weeks, and life is stressful. Life is hard. There's no avoiding that. But I've just been amazed at how I've been able to navigate those stressors with more ease. It's like it's taking so much less energy. So that's very exciting. What I want to talk about now that came up with my interview with Teresa was, is sort of this topic of how we as humans can tend to compare our stories or our journeys. So go back 20 years ago, I expressed that I was constantly comparing myself to other women, and I felt insecure in that it seemed every woman had a bigger chest than me. And so every woman looked sexier and more attractive. And that translated internally into messages of I'm not enough as I am. I'm not attractive. I'm not sexy. I'm not desirable. And it was that comparison to other people. And interestingly, I, have lived in a body that is, by societal standards, largely very acceptable. I'm just genetically tall and slender. I have spent the majority of my life hearing people, mostly women, commenting, "You're so lucky. I wish I could look like you. You're so lucky. You're so thin." And while I know those were meant to be compliments, they were hard for me to receive because I didn't feel good in my own body. And I used to think if you only knew what was going on in my head, and the struggle I'm having with my body, I look in the mirror and I see all of the imperfections and flaws. And so I was comparing myself and not feeling good enough. Then I made the decision to get the implants, and that did not solve the problem, as I've shared. If anything, it enhanced my insecurity because now I felt even more insecure because I had this fake chest that did not feel like mine. So I spent 20 years kind of trying to cover it up, feeling shame around it, which is not every woman's story. As I've said, I want to be really careful because my journey is not everybody's journey. And there are so many people I know and love who have breast implants, who love them, who feel great about them, and are more comfortable in their bodies as a result of getting them. So it was the right decision for them. It just wasn't the right decision for me, because for me, the problem was never with the size of my chest or the appearance of my body. It was how I was feeling about myself. So I now just made the choice to explant, and I feel like I've been given a second chance to love this body, to accept this body, to appreciate this body, a chance at forgiveness, love, acceptance, all those things. And for the most part, that is happening, and it's exciting and it's empowering, and I'm so grateful. But I want to just share, because my purpose of this is to share my honest, raw, vulnerable experience of breast implant illness and the whole journey of recovering. And what I am noticing is on these Facebook groups that I've joined, and they're wonderful groups of support for women going through this, people sharing their stories of illness and of healing, and sharing the pain and the struggles, women lifting one another up, supporting one another, sharing information to help us guide our way through. They're wonderful. Sharing before and after photos. And what I want to address, though, is that tendency that I think most all of us have as humans to compare our journeys. Because I have noticed even now doing that a little. There are women who share upon waking up, everything is gone. They are instantly better. And it might sound like that's what I'm saying because I'm sharing the few things that dramatically have improved. But at only 3 weeks, I can't speak to the level of healing that I have or have not had in regards to my autoimmune conditions and whatnot. I feel very encouraged, but it's not like I can magically say everything is gone. And there are women who share their stories where years later, they are still deeply struggling, and they are feeling in some way like that's a failure because they're comparing their story to the women who have had miraculous healing right away. And I can relate to that because I used to sometimes struggle with that with my autoimmune conditions, with MS specifically. When I would have relapses, what was I doing wrong? If I could just eat right or do this right or do that, I wouldn't have a relapse. And I had to always remind myself that it was beyond my control. Like I wasn't doing anything wrong when I had a relapse, and I wasn't doing everything perfectly when I was in periods of remission. So the same thing I'm noticing here is this tendency to compare ourselves. And so here I am, and the area I'm noticing I'm comparing myself to is not so much the journey of healing. because I'm just so grateful of what I'm experiencing on that level. But I am noticing the before and after pictures. And I'm noticing that old thought creeping in of, wow, I really am in a minority, a small minority of women who are this flat chested. Because I think I've probably seen 2 pictures of women that I would say are in my category. And every other picture, the women I'm looking at have such beautiful breast um, after explanting. And again, I'm like, wow, like that feeling of most every woman out there has a larger chest than me. And what I want to share is that it tugged at that old insecurity all those years ago, even going back before 20 years, of that young, girl in 8th grade that was comparing herself to the girls. And the way society puts these images and everything in our mind. And I was feeling that, wow, I really am, that flat chested. And it was hard. And I'm sharing because I want to be transparent here that I believe this journey of recovering from breast implant illness and explant is a roller coaster. And so I don't want to paint this picture that it's been this all, unicorns and rainbows, which it has had a lot of that. But I've had my days. I had one yesterday of grieving. I didn't know why. I was just in the laundry room starting to cry. And I felt so sad. And I knew enough to not push it away or deny it or just, try to make it go away. I thought this needs to be felt because I know that we have to feel it to heal it. I'm like, what is this? And so I went to my husband, and because I also know that we need to bring it out into the light to heal it and share it, and we need connection when we're struggling. And so I just let him see that I was struggling. And he held that space for me until I was able to put to words. And it was that old insecurity of I'm not enough how I look. And I knew that's not true, but I needed to let myself grieve. I realized I was grieving for that 20-year-old that made the decision to get implants, which I now really believe caused me to have so many serious health challenges for 20 years of my life. I need to grieve that. That's sad for me. And I can do that and still be tremendously grateful for all that allowed me over those years. Living with those challenges, as I've said, has made me who I am today and allowed me so many gifts and lessons of life and learning. And it's allowed me to get to this point now of self-love and self-forgiveness and acceptance. But I can grieve for that 30-year-old, and I can grieve for the illnesses that I had because of that. And I realize I have some grieving to do just for the years that I was so hard on myself and so hard on my appearances and my body. And when I allowed myself to just cry it and verbalize it, speak it, put words to it, share it with my husband, feel supported and connected with another, it lets go. It loses its hold. And so I just was reminded and wanted to share that because I do believe this is a difficult journey, and it's different for each and every one of us. We will all experience the surgery, the explant, the healing, the recovery, and then the long-term journey of healing and recovery differently. And there's no right or wrong way. However it is unfolding for you, it's unfolding exactly as it's meant to. And I realize my journey of life has just been orchestrated exactly as I've needed for it to be, for my expanding and healing and growing and becoming. And so I guess I just wanted to share that I believe for all women who are struggling with breast implant illness in particular, but really all challenges in life, that it is normal to experience a wide range of emotions and to allow yourself to feel all of them. That's what mindfulness is. It's putting the welcome mat out to whatever is there to be felt and just allowing it to be with it without having to do anything about it. It will then pass. And so I just wanted to share that sort of insight and reminder that I was reminded of yesterday and today. And so with that, I will be back around the 6-week mark. I believe I'll be given the green light to kind of resume all activities again. That's when I plan to begin the detox phase of the program I'm doing, and we'll share more on that and just more on my continued healing and recovery. But with that, as always, so much gratitude to each of you for walking alongside me on this journey, for all of your support and love. And I will share the link to the TV show that I just did when that airs. And so I just wish you all the best. Be well. Thank you.